Right, it used to be that corporations found refuge from Republican lawmakers for favorable tax structures and favorable regulatory policies. But as more corporations have decided to embrace the left's policies on issues like election reform or parental rights, question is, have we come to the end of that relationship? Quite frankly, I think it's past due. I think what we're seeing in Florida with the Disney Corporation is a prominent example. In fact, it's a classic example. It is the most prominent. When you look at, you have a state that was passing a piece of legislation, the Parental Rights and Education Bill, and Disney, woke corporation, weighs in saying, bad policy, we're not going to give money to lawmakers. In fact, we're going to challenge it in court, and we're going to stop it. We're going to undo the law. Look, why don't they just entertain people? But no, they want to get involved in policy. And so now Florida lawmakers have passed legislation this week to revoke Disney's special self-governing status in the state. I think we're finally seeing the end of this alliance between big business and conservatives. And frankly, I think it's a good thing. With me now to talk about this, Dr. Dave Brat, Dean at Liberty's University School of Business and a former member of Congress from Virginia. Dr. Brat, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Tony.
So have we come to the big split? Are we finally seeing Republicans and conservatives saying, you know what, we've been used by business long enough. We've been giving them their favorable tax policy. We've been trying to keep down regulations, but they keep beating us over the head with the left's social policies.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the distinction, Adam Smith had going way back. The Republican Party is still the party of the small business person and competitive free markets. But we're turning against the oligarchs and those who just tried to use crony capitalism to work their special benefits, which actually end up hurting the American people. And so we, in the last 4 or so years, we turned that far. But now the left, right? These are no longer John Stuart Million on Liberty liberals or Madisonian liberals, right? This is the woke left now. And I think what got Governor DeSantis really lit was the left not only wants to get involved in politics, which is fine, neutrally construed, but they're gaslighting and they're charging the governor with saying all sorts of things he's never said. And if you're a creature of the swamp like I am, and you know how it works too, it's not new to us, but the degree and severity has just become awful, right? They accuse you of being against equal voting rights, which is just absurd. They accuse you of being anti-democracy or against, races or sexes or whatever. It's just it's the new Marxist tactics, the neo-Marxists of putting everyone in buckets and separating the country. But I think they're running into tough times because in Virginia, you saw the last election when they do that and they hit the moms and they're grooming these kids in schools on this controversial stuff. The left can gaslight and threaten and cancel you as much as you want, but now they've went way over the line. And so the American people are waking up, and Christians are usually too innocent, right? When they get gaslit, they don't even know what hit them. It's like a Mack truck hit them. And it takes them a while to go, wow, I think that was evil. I don't want to say that even, but I think that was evil. And so now the Christians are waking up and they're going, hey, I went back to the good book. I reviewed my good and evil, and that's what it looks like.
I think we're at a tipping point. And I was talking earlier with Steve Scalise. He and I served in the Louisiana legislature together, and I think both of us were really at the top of the list of the business group in terms of favorable views from business, because we're free market, as you said. We're for free market. But what we're seeing increasingly is big business wants special carve-outs, like we saw here with Disney. They want this something that medium-sized and small businesses don't get. We're still for free markets, but we're not going to carry the water for big business if they're going to carry the water for the left. And I want to quote from Tim Doyle. He's the chairman, the spokesman for the Chamber of Commerce. And this is what he said. speaking back against what was happening in Disney and elsewhere with Republicans pushing back on the left, he says this: "It is the chamber's long-held position that policymakers should judge policies on the merits of the policy and what is good for increasing prosperity for their constituents and the nation," end quote. Well, what if they followed that line of reasoning and they just did business instead of pushing radical social policy? Don't you think America's corporations would be better off?
Yeah, no, absolutely correct. And I was shocked that McCarthy came out and said the chamber left us. We didn't leave the chamber. The chamber left us. They've been backing these woke Democrats. And now it takes years for that policy to unwind. But now you're seeing the results of energy independence. And that energy is not just about the cost to us, which are devastating, but we've now thrown Russia into the arms of China. This is real existential, serious business. And if the chamber doesn't get that has to do with future prosperity, I can't help them, right? They've lost their analytical marbles. And then on top of it, now India, we forced them into a terrible position. And that's just at the most serious international levels. But now Germany's in a terrible position, and the chamber's nowhere to be found, right? And then also when we had riots across all the U.S. cities, you didn't see the chamber weighing in. Hey, these riots are probably not good for our long-term prosperity. And just the leftist woke stuff on education. The chamber should be weighing on human capital development, getting children that they get with workforce skills that enrich all of us.
You know what the chamber is doing? The chamber is actually going back and preserving the graffiti that was done by Black Lives Matter during the rioting and saying, well, this is cultural heritage. And so they're preserving that. That's what they're doing in response to that. But I want to talk from a positive standpoint, Dr. Brat, that this could be a course correction. And that's why I think it's, sometimes you got to have tough love. We're not changing our principles when it comes to the market. We're still free market conservatives. We want to see everyone have the opportunity for success. But we're not going to walk in partnership with you if you're going to hammer us and push all this garbage from the left. But here's what's happening with Disney. Just overnight, since the legislature there in Florida passed this provision stripping away these special rights for Disney, their stocks dropped another 2%. They've dropped in total 30%. They're the worst performing stock on the Dow Jones this year. So maybe these corporations, when they start doing this and they start losing dollars and when they're not making sense, that their stockholders will hold them accountable and there'll be a course correction.
Yeah, no, that's right. I saw another shocking instance come across the screen the other night on Tucker after the 07-08 financial crisis. It's like a hockey stick, and the New York Times and the Washington Post all of a sudden started messaging on race and racism right then. And so there's been a coordinated attack by the oligarchs who own, of course, all the mainstream media. The big money has been doing the ESG stuff, the Marxist stuff in the schools, and pushing this whole line because they want their hooks into China. They want another $20 trillion market. But as you've shown and we've been saying, the left has now gone way over the marker in the sand. And so the American people now are seeing the country has been decimated, right? The laptop story is out and validated. The 50 folks in the State Department that signed on to that, from the CIA, the FBI, the State Department, the Department of Injustice, all have been shown to be corrupt and made serious lies over the past 4 years. The Russia hoax thing was a fraud. And so from the elites all the way down, right? And there's a guy at Yale, I think Jeffrey Sonnenfeld, he's got a list of 500 of the woke Fortune 500 companies that he keeps a list of. And it's been entertaining in a sad way. I shouldn't laugh. But now the CEOs have come out and acknowledged, hey, this Russia, they might not be morally good. They might be bad guys. They're bad. which is just shocking.
What?
And China's next. But the same logic is there for them
Newsflash.
to see now, right? Newsflash.
Yeah.
China, the same logic is there on China,
Newsflash.
but they won't get near that one. Too much money at stake.
Dave, we're out of time. We've got to leave it there. Always great to
Right.
talk with you.